Cooking with Alba. Today we're going to do something bay, which is TZ greens. Yes, I'm going to show you varied options of TZ greens you can really enjoy with your swallow. Yes, and so welcome to Cooking with Alba. And like I said, we're going straight into the business. For your TZs, yes, one popular way to have your greens is to use Ayoyo leaves. And this is how Ayoyo leaves actually come. You'd have to take off the leaves from the stemmy parts and without all the branches. Usually I do that the night before because this can really take your time. Then I just polythene it with a lot of air around it. And I put it into the wing of the fridge because you don't need so much cold in there, just to keep it in for the next day when I'm ready to use. Now, when I'm ready to use, I just put some salt and add water in my bowl and then my basin on my bowl. Then I just wash it out there because don't forget that these are very much exposed when they grow it and all those ones. So it's good to wash with some salt and water or vinegar or whatever you have at your disposal to help clean it. But salt is the cheapest way to go about it. Then once I'm done, I wash the salt water off because I don't need that. The trick I do is to pour hot water over it and then let it sit down for it to cool, which should take about 5 to 10 minutes. And that gives you good texture for you to really blend in there. This is cutting Ayoyo piece is just too much work. Like, you can still get good results without so much stress. So you just pour it into your blender. Some will tell you use the pause button, but I was using the speed button. So I just do up one, just pause, like that kind of stuff. And that gives you very good Ayoyo texture. You realize that the color was good. You realize that it was not smooth, it was still chunky in there. And then I go straight into the preparation of the Ayoyo. So you heat your pan, put in some water, put in your onion and your Dawadawa. This is just to spice it up as well. Then the blended Ayoyo that I had actually goes in there. The hot water trick actually helps you to maintain the sliminess of the Ayoyo. It also helps you with the color of the Ayoyo. So you don't need any, how do you call it, kewu or saltpeter, because for some of us it doesn't do well to our stomachs. So it's actually good. You can just go this way and then you're just going to mix this up for it to come to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, you realize that it's even going to start thickening up. And this gives you very good result with your TZ greens or your Ayoyo green. At this point, it's virtually ready and it's optional. If you want to do it with salt, you can also add salt in to spice that up or to add to the seasoning of it as well. The next type of green you can eat with your TZ or any swallow is the okra kind of green or okra green, which, like the Ayoyo leaves, I also wash with salt water, then I wash with plain water. For okra, yes, sometimes chopping it into small pieces is a lot of work. So these days, I just take the heads and the roots off. I put it into my blender, have enough water around it. Then I do the same thing. You can use the pause button or you can blend it in very short pieces. So like up, down, just pause, that kind of vibe. And that is going to give you very thick okra. It's also going to save you time and it's going to save you energy as well. Sometimes when I buy fresh okra, one thing I do is to store it. I don't like wasting food at all. It's not part of my anthem. Wasting food is not my style. So I like to clean and then freeze it, which gives it a bit of shelf life than leaving it fresh in the fridge. So when you take your frozen okra out, let it thaw. You just put it into your blender, add in water, and you're still going to get that very slimy consistency. So once that is done, I heat my pan, put in some water, put in some onion, and I'm a fancy girl. So yes, I placed in some beef just to add to the aromatics and the flavorings as well. And like I said, yes, shrimp powder went in, which is optional, and of course I added in some salt because in as much as I want to eat healthy, I'm not sick right now that I'm dodging salt. So I added in just a little bit of salt to let it taste, and you can see how slimy this okra is. So the smaller one is the one from the frozen okra. So when you want to really store your okra, please just cut it and then freeze it, and when you're ready, you use it. The other part was the one that I freshly made, and you realize that it's still gritty. It is not smooth, and it's like less work. You see that thing? Sometimes you're stressing yourself cutting okra and I beg these days you want to eat healthy, but you don't want to waste time, you don't want to use so much energy, and that makes cooking fun as well. So I'm just going to allow this to cook. I realized my okra was very thick. You can add in more hot water to just thin it up, or normal water and let it cool, depending on how thick you want it. And the next type you can also do is to also add in some of the ayoyo, which like I had already done over there, and mix it up. That improves the texture. It also adds more nutrient to it, and then of course the color is also improved as well. And this is good for babies. If you have babies, you are teaching them to eat and all those things, this is something they can easily eat. This goes well with a lot of your swallows or your bangkun and all those ones. The next is the ayoyo soup as well, which you can decide to also do your TZ stew, which is on the channel. And then after doing the TZ stew, you just pour in your blended ayoyo into it, and then you let it finish up cooking. Yes, that's another soup recipe you can do for your swallow or for your TZ in there as well. So these are all TZ greens or swallow greens or swallow soups, like Nigerians will call it. Swallow soups you can actually go with when you are eating your swallows. And these are all from Ghana, mostly inspired from the northern Ghana part as well. And this is my TZ stew, which Yemwadie stew, let me call it like that, the tribe stew. And I have the pure ayoyo, which you can eat like that. I have my TZ, which is also on the channel. Then I have the TZ green, the ayoyo, and then the okra mixed together, and then the pure okra as well. So depending on what you want, like I said, this is very thick. So if you want it thinner, you can always add in more water in as well. And you realize that this is all healthy, this is all bean. And I had my TZ wrapped in the leaves as well. Yes, I'm trying to be more sustainable, avoid the plastics, and also be more healthy. And you realize my ayoyo green was like deep, thick green. Yes, very deep and thick. The okra, the plain okra too, you realize that it had the texture in there, and the mix of the okra ayoyo also, you know, bibia that form, like bibia on a form, that kind of vibe. So this is actually very easy to replicate wherever you are, and I've made the process very simple. Cooking with Abba, we try to make sure that you have healthy food options with varied ingredients, varied techniques to make it. Most importantly, we want you to eat healthy, but I want you to eat and cook, make cooking more fun and more easy, so that you can actually make your everyday meals and eat more healthily at home and wherever you find yourself as well. So if you like this recipe, if you've enjoyed learning with us or picking new things from us, please make sure you hit the subscription button. It is very much important. Support us with the views and the likes. And this is my TZ greens or my swallow greens or my bangkun soups you can actually eat with, or the swallow soups you can actually eat it with. And do well to check the Yemwadie soup or tribe soup on the channel as well. Whether I want to call it stew or soup, that is very much dependent on you. And yes, these are like options you can go with, whether you want your ayoyo soup with a stew all mixed together, you want just the plain ayoyo, or with the okra and ayoyo, or just pure okra, whichever you have, you can go with it. Once I'm done, I just package these and I put them into the freezer for long-term use or into the fridge for short-term use. And my TZ was also very soft and malleable. Do check out my TZ options. You can make TZ from different things, from cereals to legumes to, how do you call it? From cereals to legumes to various types of flour. And so yes, do check that swallow recipe as well, that TZ recipe as well, that banku recipe as well on my channel. Till I see you in the next food video, do live life to the fullest. Be joyous, be merry. Lots of love from my team and I. Mwah.